Hello from Mindset Daily, wishing you a day full of health, peace, and happiness. Thank you for watching the Mindset Daily channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support us. Thank you so much.
Have you ever wondered why some people seem unstoppable while others remain stuck in the same patterns? What if the real battle isn't out there, but inside your own mind? And what if the key to success is hidden in how you choose to think every single day? When I say brainwash, I don't mean anything negative. I'm talking about cleansing your mind of limiting beliefs, negative programming, and self-defeating thoughts that hold you back. It's about replacing them with empowering beliefs that move you closer to the life you truly desire and deserve. The truth is simple yet profound. Your life is a reflection of your thoughts. What you think about most is what you eventually become. This isn't just a feel-good saying. It's a fundamental reality of how human beings operate. Most people drift through life unaware they have complete control over their thoughts. They're like boats without rudders, carried by the currents of circumstance. They react to life instead of creating it. But extraordinary people understand something crucial. The mind is like a fertile garden. Whatever you plant there will grow. Plant weeds of doubt, fear, and limitation, and that's what you'll harvest. Plant seeds of possibility, opportunity, and success, and those are the fruits you'll enjoy. The difference in your life 5 years from now will depend on just two things: the books you read and the people you associate with. Why? Because these shape your thinking, and your thinking shapes everything else. The mind should be your servant, not your master. It's an incredible servant, but a terrible master. Yet most people get it backward, letting their minds control them instead of taking control. Have you ever been kept awake at night by thoughts you just couldn't silence? How many opportunities slipped away because your mind convinced you that you weren't good enough, smart enough, or worthy enough? And how many times has fear of failure stopped you before you even tried? That's what happens when your mind becomes the master. But it doesn't have to stay that way. Your mind is designed to solve problems, uncover solutions, and create pathways toward your goals. The key is programming it correctly, giving it the right instructions. If you ask, "Why can't I succeed?" your mind will faithfully supply every reason you can't. But if you ask, "How can I succeed?" your mind will work tirelessly to find the answers. The truth is simple. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask yourself. Now let's explore the 4 levels of thinking that shape your results in life. Understanding them is essential if you want to control your mind. Level 1 is negative thinking. This is where most people remain, focused on what's wrong, what they don't have, or what could fail. They say things like, "I can't afford it," "That won't work for me," or "I'm not lucky." This mindset produces mediocre results at best, and at worst, complete failure. Level 2 is neutral thinking. It's a step above negativity, but it still won't bring the success you desire. Neutral thinkers say things like, "Let's wait and see," "Maybe it will work out," or "I'm not sure if I can do it." They aren't sabotaging themselves, but they also aren't programming their minds for achievement. Level 3 is positive thinking, and now the shift begins. Positive thinkers say, "I can figure this out," "There must be a way," or "I believe in myself." This mindset opens doors to solutions and possibilities. But there's an even greater level, level 4, possibility thinking. This is where the real transformation happens. Possibility thinkers ask, "What if?" They say, "How can I make this happen? What would it look like if this succeeded beyond my wildest dreams? How can I turn this problem into an opportunity?" Possibility thinking is what allowed Steve Jobs to imagine the iPhone long before anyone else could see it. It's what gave Elon Musk the belief that rockets could return to Earth and be reused. And it's what empowers ordinary people to achieve extraordinary results. The good news is this: you get to choose which level of thinking you operate from, and that choice shapes everything in your life. So how do you take control of your mind? How do you reprogram it for success? Let me share a process that has worked for thousands of my students over the years. Step 1 is awareness. You must become conscious of your current thought patterns. Most people never do this. They simply let thoughts pass through without question. But you can't change what you don't notice. Start paying attention to your self-talk. What do you tell yourself when you face a challenge? How do you respond when opportunity appears? What beliefs do you hold about money, success, relationships, and your own abilities? Just becoming aware of these thoughts puts you ahead of 95% of people. It's like turning on the lights in a dark room. Suddenly, you see what you're really dealing with. Step 2 is evaluation. Once you're aware of your thoughts, you need to examine them closely. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me or hurting me? Does it move me toward my goals or pull me away? Is it rooted in truth, or is it just an assumption? The reality is, most of our limiting beliefs aren't even our own. They're ideas picked up from parents, teachers, friends, or society. Many of the beliefs we carry simply aren't true. For example, maybe you believe making money must be a constant struggle. But is that really the case? Look around. Plenty of people earn extraordinary incomes doing what they love. Their work doesn't feel like hard work because they're operating in their element. Or perhaps you've told yourself, I'm not good at public speaking. Is that an unchangeable truth, or just a story you've repeated for too long? Maybe you're not good yet, but with training and practice, you could become excellent. Step 3 is replacement. Once you've identified limiting beliefs, you must replace them with empowering ones. This is where the true brainwashing begins. For every negative thought, create a positive alternative. If you catch yourself thinking, this is too hard, change it to, I'm figuring this out step by step. If you think, I always mess things up, replace it with, I learn and improve with every attempt. But here's the key. It's not enough to do this once or twice. Repetition is the mother of both skill and belief. You must repeat these new thoughts until they become your default programming. This is where affirmations play their role. Some people are skeptical, dismissing affirmations as feel-good nonsense. But in truth, there is solid psychology behind them. Affirmations are simply statements that affirm what you want to be true. They work by replacing negative thoughts with positive ones through repetition. The key is to make them specific, personal, in the present tense, and filled with emotion. For example, instead of saying, I will be successful someday, declare, I am confidently building my successful business day by day, and it feels amazing. When repeated with conviction and emotion, affirmations begin to sink into your subconscious mind. And your subconscious doesn't distinguish between reality and vivid imagination. It accepts whatever you tell it consistently. That's why I recommend writing your affirmations down and reading them aloud twice daily. Once in the morning to set the tone for the day, and once in the evening to reinforce it. Reading your affirmations in the evening helps program your subconscious while you sleep. But here's the critical part most people miss. Affirmations must be paired with action. If you affirm that you're building a successful business, you must also take real steps toward it. Otherwise, your mind will notice the gap, and the words will lose their power. This brings us to the environment of your mind. We're all influenced by our surroundings far more than we realize. If you live in a cluttered, chaotic space, maintaining a clear and focused mind becomes difficult. If you're surrounded by negative, complaining people, it's nearly impossible to sustain a positive outlook. The same rule applies to your mental environment. So, what are you feeding your mind each day? Remember, what goes in must come out. If you start your morning by watching the news, filled with disasters, problems, and fear, you're programming yourself with negativity. If you spend hours scrolling through social media, comparing your behind-the-scenes life to others' highlight reels, you're setting yourself up for discontent. Instead, be intentional with your mental diet. Begin your day with uplifting content, a motivational book, an educational podcast, or inspiring music. Fill your mind with ideas and images that pull you toward your goals. And just as important, guard against what you allow in. You wouldn't eat food out of the garbage, so why consume mental garbage? Limit exposure to toxic news, negative people, and time-wasting distractions. Always remember, what you focus on expands. Focus on problems, and you'll see more problems. Focus on opportunities, and more opportunities will appear. It's not that one exists and the other doesn't. Both do. But your experience is shaped by what you give your attention to. Another powerful tool for mastering your mind is visualization. Olympic athletes use it. Top performers in every field use it. And you should too. Visualization is about creating vivid mental images of what you want to achieve. In essence, you're giving your subconscious a blueprint to follow. For example, if you're preparing for an important presentation, spend time picturing yourself delivering it with confidence and clarity. Picture yourself delivering that presentation with confidence and skill. See yourself standing tall, speaking clearly, and holding the audience's full attention. Imagine the satisfaction as you finish to enthusiastic applause. This isn't daydreaming or wishful thinking. It's mental rehearsal, and it's incredibly effective. Studies show that visualization activates many of the same neural pathways as actually performing the activity. I recommend dedicating 10 to 15 minutes each day to visualizing your goals as if they are already achieved. Engage all your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? The more vivid and emotional the visualization, the more powerful it becomes. And here's a key tip. Don't only visualize the end result, but also the process of getting there. See yourself taking the necessary steps, overcoming challenges, learning, and growing along the way. Now let's talk about the habit of thought control. All of these techniques, awareness, evaluation, replacement, and affirmations, managing your mental environment, and visualization are not one-time events. They are practices, habits you must develop and maintain. Controlling your mind isn't something you do once and forget. It's a continuous process, like exercising or eating well. At first, monitoring your thoughts may feel overwhelming. You might even be surprised by how many negative or limiting beliefs cross your mind each day. But as you practice replacing them, as you feed your mind with empowering content and visualize your success, it becomes easier and more natural. Eventually, positive thinking becomes your default. Think of it like going to the gym. The first time you pick up weights, they feel heavy, and you struggle with just a few repetitions. But with consistent effort, you get stronger, and what once felt difficult becomes easy. The same principle applies to your mental fitness. What starts as a conscious effort gradually becomes an unconscious habit. This is where the compound effect of thought comes into play. Small, consistent efforts in how you think will build up over time, creating results far greater than you could imagine. Small actions taken consistently over time lead to massive results. When you first begin controlling your thoughts, you may not notice immediate changes in your circumstances. This is the point where most people quit. They say, "I've been thinking positively for a week, and nothing has changed." But that's like planting a seed and digging it up the next day because it hasn't grown into a tree yet. All success takes time. What you don't see in those early days is what's happening beneath the surface. Your new thought patterns are taking root, slowly influencing your emotions. Those emotions begin shaping your actions, and over time, those actions transform your results. The process requires patience. Be gentle with yourself. Celebrate the small victories. Pay attention to the subtle shifts, how you feel, how you respond to challenges, how you connect with others. Remember, you're not changing your thoughts for just a week or a month. You're changing them for a lifetime. This is about creating a new you from the inside out. Now let's talk about the role of goals in this process. Your mind needs direction, something to focus on and move toward. Without clear goals, your thoughts wander aimlessly, often defaulting to worries, regrets, or empty fantasies. But when you set specific, written goals, your mind immediately has a purpose. It begins searching for ways to bring those goals into reality. That's why I recommend setting goals in every major area of your life: career, finances, relationships, health, personal growth, and contribution. Write them down clearly. The more specific you are, the more powerful the pull on your mind to find solutions and strategies to achieve them. And don't just write down your goals, include deadlines. But here's the key: review those goals every single day. Keep them in front of you. Make them part of your morning routine. This constant reminder trains your subconscious to be alert, always scanning for opportunities, ideas, and resources to help you achieve them. As you review, visualize the goals as already accomplished. Feel the emotions of success. This blend of clear direction and emotional reinforcement is a powerful force in controlling your mind. One of the greatest challenges in mastering your mind is maintaining focus. We live in an age of endless distraction: smartphones, social media, streaming platforms, and a nonstop news cycle, all competing for attention. But here's the truth: what you focus on shapes your reality, and you alone have the power to decide where that focus goes. Successful people understand this. They've mastered selective focus. They concentrate on what truly matters and filter out what doesn't. They know that attention is a limited resource, and they invest it wisely. That's why I recommend practicing what I call dedicated focus time. Set aside a block of 30 minutes to an hour each day where you eliminate all distractions and commit fully to one important task or goal. Turn off notifications. If necessary, place your phone in another room. Train your mind to stay on track. At first, it won't be easy. Your mind will resist, pulling you toward easier, instantly gratifying activities. But just like a muscle, your focus will grow stronger with consistent practice. And the stronger it gets, the more unstoppable you become. As you strengthen your ability to focus, you also develop greater control over your thoughts. Another powerful technique for mastering your mind is the power of questions. The human mind is always answering questions, whether you're aware of it or not. The problem is, most people ask disempowering ones. Why does this always happen to me? What's wrong with me? Why can't I ever get ahead? And of course, the mind provides answers. Because you're unlucky, because you're not smart enough, because the system is against you. But what if you started asking better questions? What if you asked, what can I learn from this situation? How can this challenge make me stronger? What opportunities am I not seeing yet? These kinds of questions shift your focus from problems to solutions, from victimhood to growth, from limitation to possibility. I encourage you to create a list of empowering questions and review them daily. When challenges come, pull out that list and let those questions guide your thinking. Over time, asking better questions becomes second nature, and your mind will naturally move toward empowering thought patterns. Now let's talk about something that has a massive impact on your mindset: the people you surround yourself with. I'm known for saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And it's true. The people closest to you shape your thinking, your beliefs, your standards, and ultimately, your results. If you're surrounded by negative, complaining people who have no direction, it's extremely difficult to maintain a positive, success-oriented mindset. Their thinking will eventually drag yours down. But if you choose to spend time with positive, ambitious, growing individuals, their mindset will elevate yours. Their standards will become your standards. Their success will fuel your drive for success. So take a serious look at your inner circle. Are the people in your life lifting you higher or pulling you down? Do they support your goals, or do they quietly undermine them? Do they challenge you to dream bigger, or encourage you to play it safe? The answers to these questions may require some tough choices, but they are essential for your growth. Making decisions about who you spend time with doesn't necessarily mean cutting people out of your life completely. But you may need to limit your exposure to negative influences while intentionally seeking more positive ones. Join mastermind groups, attend personal development seminars, or find mentors who have achieved what you aspire to. Your environment shapes your thinking, so design an environment that supports the mind you want to cultivate. Now let's talk about the power of decisions. Each day, you make thousands of choices, big and small. What to eat for breakfast, which route to take to work, how to handle a difficult conversation, or whether to stick with your exercise routine or skip it just this once. What most people don't realize is that these choices are not only about the moment. They're shaping who you are becoming. Every decision is a vote for the person you want to be. When you decide to wake up early and meditate instead of hitting snooze, you're not just making a choice about that morning. You're reinforcing the identity of someone disciplined and committed to growth. When you choose to have a tough conversation rather than avoid it, you're strengthening the image of someone who faces challenges head-on. Successful people understand this principle. They make decisions guided by values and long-term goals, not by fleeting feelings or circumstances. They know that true freedom doesn't come from avoiding hard choices, but from making them with clarity and living confidently with the results. Be conscious of your daily decisions. Ask yourself, is this choice aligned with the person I want to become? Is it moving me toward my goals or pulling me further away? Let your values and vision guide what you decide, not fear, doubt, or temporary discomfort. Now let's go deeper into the art of self-talk. This ongoing conversation you have with yourself is one of the most powerful influences in controlling your mind. Unfortunately, most people engage in negative self-talk. They criticize themselves, doubt themselves, and talk themselves out of opportunities before even trying. Think about it. You would never speak to a friend the way you sometimes speak to yourself. If you truly want to change your life, start by changing that inner dialogue. Become your best coach, not your harshest critic. When you make a mistake, don't attack yourself. Instead, say, that didn't work as planned. What can I learn from this? How can I do better next time? When facing a challenge, avoid saying, this is too hard, I can't do it. Replace it with, this is tough, but I'm capable of figuring it out. I've overcome challenges before, and I can do it again. Pay close attention to the words you use in both thought and speech. Words like always, never, impossible, or can't are disempowering. Replace them with words like sometimes, learning, challenging, and figuring it out. And remember, self-talk isn't only about avoiding negativity. It's about actively building yourself up, encouraging progress, celebrating wins, and reminding yourself of your strengths. Another powerful way to control your mind is through the practice of gratitude. Gratitude acts like a reset button for your thinking. It's impossible to feel truly grateful and negative at the same time. When your focus is on what's missing or what could go wrong, your mind spirals into fear, worry, and limitation. But when you shift your attention to what's good, to what you already have, and what's worth appreciating, your mind opens up to possibility, opportunity, and abundance. Start each morning by writing down 3 things you're grateful for. They can be big, like your health or your family, or small, like the warmth of your coffee or a beautiful sunrise. The key is to feel the gratitude, not just think it. Throughout the day, look for moments to appreciate. When someone shows you kindness, take time to feel it. When something goes well, pause and acknowledge it. And when challenges arise, ask yourself, what hidden lesson or gift can I find here? This isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing where to direct your focus. Practicing gratitude trains your mind to recognize the good, the possible, and the abundant in every situation. Now let's talk about purpose. A mind without purpose wanders aimlessly, often drifting toward negativity. But a mind guided by clear and compelling purpose holds tremendous power. Purpose is your why. The reason you get up each morning, the impact you want to create, the legacy you want to leave. It's bigger than any single task or obstacle. It becomes the compass that directs your thoughts, actions, and ultimately your life. Purpose is the thread that connects all your goals and gives them meaning. When you have a strong sense of purpose, it becomes a filter for your thoughts. Negative, limiting ideas that don't serve your purpose are easier to spot and replace, while positive, empowering thoughts that align with it are naturally reinforced. If you don't yet have a clear sense of purpose, begin by asking yourself, what do I love to do? What am I naturally good at? What does the world need? How can I serve others with my unique gifts and passions? The answers will guide you toward your true purpose. And once you discover that North Star, controlling your mind becomes less of a discipline and more of a natural expression of living with purpose. As we move toward wrapping up, let's remember this. Mental mastery is not a destination, it's a journey. You won't wake up one morning with perfect control over every thought. And that's not the goal. The goal is progress, not perfection. It's about becoming more aware of your thoughts day by day, catching negative patterns faster, and replacing them more effectively. Think of it like building a muscle. Over time, your mind grows stronger and positive, empowering thoughts become your default. Of course, there will be days when old patterns resurface or when challenges knock you off course. That's part of being human. The key is not to get discouraged or believe the process doesn't work. Instead, view setbacks as opportunities to practice mental control, each one making you stronger. Each time you catch a negative thought and replace it, you're strengthening your skill. Every time you choose your focus deliberately, you're building your mental muscles. Now let's talk about one of the most crucial aspects of controlling your mind, the transformation of identity. All lasting change happens at the level of identity, how you see yourself and who you believe you are. You can use willpower and discipline to change behaviors for a while, but for those changes to stick, they must become part of your identity. You must move from saying, I'm trying to think more positively, to declaring, I am a positive thinker. From, I'm working on being more confident, to, I am a confident person. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It develops gradually, through consistent thought patterns and actions that reinforce your new self-image. Every time you control your thoughts, take action despite fear, or persist through challenges, you're building evidence for your new identity. Affirm it daily. Say to yourself, I am someone who controls my thoughts rather than being controlled by them. I am someone who focuses on solutions, not problems. I am someone who sees opportunity in every difficulty. Then, live as that person. Make decisions as they would. Speak as they would. Respond to challenges as they would. Over time, this identity becomes natural. You no longer have to try to control your thoughts. It simply becomes who you are. And that leads us to the ultimate reward. The real prize of mastering your mind is not just success as the world defines it. It's something far deeper. The ultimate reward isn't just the success the world celebrates, though that often comes as a byproduct. The true reward is freedom. Freedom from the tyranny of negative thinking. Freedom from the chains of fear and doubt. Freedom from the prison of past programming. When you control your mind, you control your life. You become the author of your story instead of a character reacting to circumstances. You create your reality rather than merely enduring it. And in that freedom, you discover just how capable, powerful, and extraordinary you truly are. You realize the only limits in life are the ones you accept in your thinking. Once those limits are removed, your world expands in ways you may have never imagined. So the question is, what now? You've learned the principles, the techniques, the strategies for controlling your mind. But information without action is meaningless. Knowledge not applied becomes little more than trivia. That's why I challenge you to commit to this process of mental transformation. Start today, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, not when circumstances are perfect. Begin now. For the next 24 hours, pay attention to your thoughts. Notice the recurring patterns, the themes that surface, the moments where negativity tries to creep in. Create a morning routine that sets the tone for your day. Include affirmations, visualization, goal review, and gratitude. It doesn't have to be long. Even 15 to 20 minutes can make a profound difference. Then, choose one area of your thinking to transform first. Maybe it's your beliefs about money, your confidence in your abilities, or your expectations in relationships. Start there, and then expand outward. In other areas, find an accountability partner, someone who shares your commitment to growth and will support you on this journey of mental mastery. And don't forget to track your progress. Keep a journal of your thoughts, your breakthroughs, your setbacks, and your growth. This record not only holds you accountable, but also gives you proof of how far you've come over time. Remember, the greatest investment you will ever make is not in stocks, real estate, or business ventures. It's the investment you make in your mind. Your mind controls everything. Your emotions, your actions, your results, and ultimately, your destiny. When you learn to control your mind, when you master the art of directing your thoughts rather than being directed by them, you gain the ultimate advantage in life. You gain the ability to create your own reality instead of simply accepting the one handed to you. So, my friends, begin this journey of mental mastery. Commit to it fully. Give it the time and attention it deserves, and watch as your life transforms from the inside out. You already have within you everything you need to become the person you dream of being. The power lies in your mind. Learn to control it, and you will control your destiny. I wish you health, happiness, and success. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Mindset Daily.